You want to see Johnny in real life? Well, I'm just an alter ego of some dude named John. He holds the license to this face. But the other night at some dive bar that smelled like regrets and lime juice, I was real. Someone turned to John and said, "Hey, Johnny Spoiler, don't spoil Superman for me." And just like that, he was gone. I was there, breathing in all that fresh bar funk and sipping a mojito like it was a plot twist. For a few seconds, I was more than a voice. I was the spoiler incarnate. Incarnate? Anyway, this probably isn't the show you're looking for, talking about mojitos, talking about alter egos, talking about some guy named Johnny Spoiler that spoils movies that he loves. Anyway, stick around for them Frankenstein monster talk, them Neon Pictures talk, them Predator Badlands talk, them Children of the Corn, what are they up to? No good, apparently. Alright, stick around. Let's start the show.
Crack open a cold box of wine or pour something cold on ice because it's the Binge-Watchers Podcast.
It's that time again for home video headlines. What's new in the greater world of movies, TV, and streamers? Neon just dropped the first teaser for Keeper, their third horror film with Osgood Perkins, the guy behind Longlegs, and the monkey. When Malcolm suddenly returns to the city, Liz finds herself isolated in the presence of an unspeakable evil that unveils the cabin's horrifying secrets. You know what? It sounds a lot like the plot of Evil Dead, stuck in a cabin in the woods with an unspeakable evil, and then as soon as they speak it, it unleashes hell. It's got that actress who played the She-Hulk, Tatiana Maslany. Anyway, moving on. I have no opinion on it. I think it sounds like Evil Dead, and so I don't really care to see it. Alright, Predator Badlands just dropped a new trailer, and yep, it finally leans all the way into the alien connection. This one follows Dek. I hope his name is Dek, D-E-K. I hope they pronounce it Dek and not Deke. Anyway, this one follows Dek, a young predator trying to prove himself by hunting a giant kaiju, because regular pay, he's not getting paid at all. It's some kind of rite of passage. I was going to say regular prey isn't hardcore enough. P-R-E-Y. He's hunting things, animals. He's teamed up with Thea, an android from none other than Weyland-Yutani, the shady corporation from the Alien movies. Dan Trachtenberg, the guy who gave us Prey and Killer of Killers, the last Predator movies, said that, he'd come back for the director's chair, and he's trying to do a sequel to Prey, but this one got out first, Predator Badlands. It sounds like it's going to rip. I actually am pretty excited for this because I like the idea of being in the Predator's perspective. I know they said if you get in the head of the monster, it makes them less monstrous, but this is kind of cool because the Predators have personalities, and it's kind of a counterpoint. I'm sure, if humans were kicking around outer space, they might not be nice to other people they encountered, and that's kind of the Predator thing. They seem on par with us, Anyway. Dredd is back, but not like he hoped. It's official. Judge Dredd reboot is in the works, and this time it's Taika Waititi. From Thor Ragnarok, he also did Jojo Rabbit. He's calling the shots. He's teaming up with screenwriter Drew Pearce. Drew Pearce wrote, I think he wrote the new Fall Guy. He did one of the Mission Impossibles. The tone could land anywhere between chaos comedy to action stick. We'll see. Will it be slick? I don't know. Will it be a slicky shtick? A slicky shtick. Maybe. But see, Taika, he's kind of fallen on his nose lately, so who knows? I don't know, man. We'll see if he can rebound with a Judge Dredd movie. It'd be nice. Here's the kicker. It's not a direct sequel to the 2012 cult favorite Dredd. So if you want to see Karl Urban back under the helmet, probably not going to happen. But again, it's a Judge Dredd movie, so. Here's something I'm also super excited and pumped up for. Netflix is cooking up a live-action Captain Planet and the Planeteer series. Yep, it's not recycled content. It's a brand new take brought to you by Greg Bartolotini's team. I don't know. He did The Flash, did Supergirl, and Leonardo DiCaprio's Appian Way. You got Tara Hernandez. She's writing the series. And no, it's not the long-rumored movie over at Paramount. This one's a fresh project, separate from those others. Buckle up, Captain Planet might be making a comeback to fight pollution and streaming fatigue. What sucks is we're never going to get that alternative Captain Planet version, that comedy website. What was it called? I don't know. I wanted to say Comedy A Go-Go, but that's not it. Anyway, that Will Ferrell website that he did, with his comedy buddies. I don't know why. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I just can't blurt it out. But anyway, Adam Cheadle plays burnt out, disenfranchised version of Captain Planet in a comedy skit. Google that. It's hilarious. It's probably better than this whole podcast so far. Now you're clicking away, aren't you? I'm just making a joke of analysis of my current attitude. Moving on. All right, tonight's movie of the week. You ever wonder what would happen when you mix Frankenstein, time travel, and future tech gone wrong? It's Frankenstein Unbound by Brian Aldiss, and it does just that. It's part sci-fi, part literary mashup, and all kinds of weird in the best way, of course. The story follows Dr. Buchanan. He's a weapons scientist from 2030. He accidentally time slips. Why not? He ends up in 1817 Switzerland, right in the middle of Frankenstein's experiments, and he meets Mary Shelley while she's writing the book. She's on a retreat. So yeah, he's stuck hanging out with the monster, the mad doctor, and Mary Shelley sells seashores. No, Mary Shelley sells seashells by the seashore. Anyway, he hangs out with Mary Shelley, and Percy or whatever, and Lord Byron by the lake, that classic setting by the lake that they always talk about during the origin story of the Frankenstein book. Anyway, it's a wild ride. We got scientific responsibility. We got the whole just because you can't doesn't mean you should thing happening in the movie, and what it really means to be human. Plus, the casual existential dread. It's a total hidden gem if you're a horror classics fan, and you like a little bit of sci-fi remix in your stuff, you'll also like it. Alright, we'll be right back to our favorite bits from Frankenstein Unbound right after these messages. Tonight's messages! Hulu's been killing it with original horror lately. Prey, Run, Little Monsters, and don't forget Fresh. If you want fresh scares and smart thrills, Hulu's got you covered. Grab my Johnny spoiler link from my link tree and get 30 days free to binge the best new horror out there. Scary just got a little easier to stream. Now back to our favorite bits from Frankenstein Unbound and the show that's already in progress. I gotta take a little sip of my beverage, because reading those messages tonight got me a little parched. Alright, a long awkward pause derived from sipping my beverage too long. There's been 2 click away moments in this show so far. I'm really excited about that I created these moments for you. Favorite bits from Frankenstein Unbound. Okay. Frankenstein Unbound might not be the official Stranger Things vision board, but let's talk coincidences that are too weird to ignore. I gotta take my list out for this. Don't mind me. We've got dimensional rifts tearing reality apart. You got a shady government-backed science product in a place called Hawkins. The coincidences of messing up science echoing through time and space. And how about this? Stranger Things has its Hawkins lab. Frankenstein Unbound has the Hawkins Institute. Come on! That's either a niche, could be an homage, or the writers were tapping into some cosmic narrative goo. All the same either way, the vibes are strong. Alright, here's my next favorite bit. Let's not skip the meta moment. The American actor doing a British accent asking a real Brit doing an American accent where he's from. When the creature drops the line, "I am unbound," it hits hard. Not just from a dramatic flair. It's kind of a warning. The monster might be physically gone, but what about the damage? The idea of him, well, it's going to linger, like Bad Science, or 80s nostalgia, 90s nostalgia. Or, could you imagine if Frankenstein Unbound was a Netflix original? This is the kind of stuff that should be cranking out on that bad boy. Anyway, ratings. We got this patented rating system on the show. We'd like to think we're geniuses for coming up with this one. Binge now, binge later, binge never. Yeah, we know. Binge is usually a series of movies and not just one thing or an episode of things, but we're playing with the words. It's wordplay. Binge now means watch it now. Binge later means get around to it, but keep it on the list. Binge never is you can't get the time back you've wasted your life. You're struggling to get through it. Anyway. All right. Here we go. Listen up, horror nerds and monster buffs. If you think the best Frankenstein is that, 30s black and white classic or any of the other reboots, you kind of been missing out on Frankenstein Unbound. Yeah, that's right. I said it. It's a quirky 90s sci-fi mashup. It deserves a spot at the top of the monster food chain. Here's why. It's got a unique premise. Sci-fi meets the gothic. It's not just your usual monster in a lab tale. No, it's got a future scientist who invents a weapon system that rips time itself apart. And zippity-zop, bitty-bitty-boom, he's hanging out with Victor Frankenstein and Mary Shelley in 1817. Mixing time travel and classic horror. That's bold, baby. That's bold. Roger Corman, the king of cult and B-movie madness, he comes back from a 20-year directing hiatus to helm this one. It might have been his last movie. He's known for working with tight budgets and making weird magic happen. He's a perfect guy to have tackled this Frankenstein remix. Star power with a twist. You got John Hurt, Raul Julia, Bridget Fonda, Jason Patrick, an A-list party, right? But instead of glossy Hollywood, you get performances that balance drama with just the right amount of campiness. It's got that B-movie charm. Yeah, the effects can be cheesy, but that's the vibe. It's unapologetically B-movie. But here's the thing. The quirks kind of add the character. It's got Frankenstein got a cyberpunk makeover with a side of cult classic sauce. Deep themes that hit hard. It's not monster noise. It digs into the real Frankenstein heart. It's got scientific responsibility, the dangers of playing God. And how about one bad decision across time? Classic Shelley themes reimagined for the future, of course. And visuals that are weirdly memorial. Memorial? I'm screwing it up all kinds of tonight. But it's a fun movie. Anyway, I meant to say memorable. The effects look like they're made on a shoestring, but here's the appeal. It's glitchy visuals, feels like a fever dream, and that's what a good science Frankenstein movie should be. There actually are some crazy acid dream sequences in here. Every time the main character, and it's unusual that the main character, he gets he's probably severely concussed because he gets knocked out 3 or 4 or 5 times in this movie, and every time he has a fever dream, and it's madness. It's like the monsters are worse in the dream, the victims are more victimized, and at one point he's experimenting on himself. I'm sure it's a giant metaphor, but I don't care. They blast him with lasers. It gets all cut to pieces. Anyway. That's actually how they... Spoiler alert, that's how they kill a monster at the end. He gets blasted with lasers and just melted. But that's funny. So the dream set it up. So that's kind of interesting. Anyway. All right. Getting back to binge now, binge later, binge never. I gotta say, binge now, dude. It's my favorite Frankenstein adaptation. I've been promoting, peddling, and propagandizing? I don't know. Selling the propaganda for Frankenstein Unbound since the days of film school. Anyway. Alright. I'm in. Alright. Here we go. Fan service. If the fans are chiming in, what are they squawking about this week? Fan service alert at the top of the show. I had already said somebody actually told me, hey, Johnny, don't spoil the new Superman movie. Don't worry. I'm keeping the spoilers in check for now. But you know me. When I get that green light, I'm going to go for it. Staff picks. Something else besides the movie of the week where we're actually doing something special because this is our 7th run of Summer Slash. We're calling it Summer Slash 7 with the Part 7s, the 7th sequel in a horror franchise. Unfortunately, this week we got stuck talking about Children of the Corn. Not happy about it. I like popcorn. I'd rather watch a movie about killer popcorn. There's some great killer popcorn puppets and killer clowns from outer space, but I would watch a killer popcorn puppet movie as opposed to a Children of the Corn sequel. Anyway, we have to talk about Children of the Corn Revelation, the 7th movie in the never-ending corn maze of misery. Here's the setup. I gotta read the notes for this because I didn't memorize the movie. Alright, Jamie's grandma goes MIA in Omaha. So Jamie shows up. There's an apartment complex overrun by these creepy kids. They've kind of been hanging out with their bad vibes and making bad decisions. Surprise, of course, they're part of a cult worshipping something called He Who Walks Behind the Rose. A.K.A. it's the name of the demon who hangs out in the cornfield. Probably the devil, not unclear. Grandma wasn't just your average absentee from the apartment building who's been missing. No, she was part of the cult when she was a kid, and she got zapped back to kid size and is still part of the cult. Anyway, why not? I don't know. The main character, Jamie, it's going to be her birthday. Apparently, this is some kind of big day for some demon prophecy. So, of course, the kids that are possessed or the demonic force in the cornfield has to come after her. Kind of like a been there, done that climax. The bottom line, it's pretty awful. Like someone is like, oh, the horror's just rotting away in the cornfield and we're just plucking the last of it. I mean, skip it. Unless you're trying to, like, finish that franchise or, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like, Michael Ironside's in it, and because I saw him on the poster or saw him in the credits, I thought, okay, sure. But maybe he was just trying to pay his daughter's medical bill. I don't even know if he has a daughter. I'm making up reasons why celebrities would do bad movies. Family medical bill, personal medical debt, tax debt. Imagine taking on another movie just to pay your tax bill that existed from your last 3 or 4 films. Michael Ironside, who is he? He's an A-lister. Well, I don't know. Man, he went from B to A to B to C to D to Y. I don't know, man. Look up Michael Ironside. He's done some cool shit. Anyway. All right. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Next week, get ready for some serious chaos as an evil witch haunts a magic ring currently in the hands of a mustachioed black magic disciple. Oh, and did I mention a snake monster is on the loose terrorizing Hong Kong? Yeah, it's that kind of party. That's the madness that's going down in a movie called Scorpion Thunderbolt. We're going to take a look at that. By the way, the 7th installment in the horror franchise Leprechaun is called Leprechaun Back to the Hood. Because, of course, the Leprechaun's got to get back to the hood, right? Alright, 7th movie, same tiny green terror and a whole lot of hood vibes. It's a horror sequel party, and you're invited, whether you want to be or not. Again, let's go back. Let's recap what we did. Talk about hanging out in bars and getting accused of spoiling movies, and somebody that recognized Johnny Spoiler. Holy crap! An in-real-life moment that became a joke on this show. Then we got Frankenstein Unbound, my favorite Frankenstein movie. I mean, yeah, there's the one kicking around with Robert De Niro. Yeah, there's the classics, and then there's this comedy sequels that are in black and white. Is it Karloff that plays Frankenstein in all those movies? I think so. Yeah, because it's not Lon Chaney, right? Because he just does the Wolfman and the other crazy shit. Anyway, so yeah, there's the Frankenstein. Then all those people meet him in the other movies. Well, but I do like a parody of the classic Universal monsters is obviously in... Monster Squad. I almost forgot the name of one of my favorite movies. What am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. I need to drink I need to drink more drinks with lion's mane in it to get that memory boost. Am I hungover? I'm not going to say yes or no on a freaking microphone in a video that's going to go on the internet. Although I did mention my love for mojitos. You ever had those? Although, what's weird is like bars really had a handle on that, but bars lately don't seem to have a handle on that thing. It's like more like they're mixing Tom Collins, and if they happen to have, moldy mints behind the bar that nobody ever, because nobody's ordering the mojitos anymore, the mint quality's gone way down. Anyway, this isn't a show about mints or mojito recipes or bad bars serving mojitos on Yelp. No, this is freaking a movie talk show, I think. Is it? I don't know. Is it an ego stroke? Let's find out. It's SummerSlam 7. We're doing part 7s. Come back. I'm asking you to come back before I've told you that you can't stay here. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Anyway, we'll be back with more monster movies next week. Take a look at it. Peace and chicken grease, as they used to say. Them kids. They're not kids anymore. But they're not kids anymore, but they're looking forward to a remake of their Captain Planet.